Don't make it about the walk. Don't make it about him. Don't make it about Puerto Rico. You make it about Jahan. Okay?
Yeah.
Don't rely on external authority figures. The people you're working with, the changes that you want to see, want to have happen, are not going to happen because people are waiting for God to light a bush on fire.
Yeah. Hmm.
If your head is truly going to explode, don't do it. If you're
It's
going to go
not.
through, yeah, then what the hell? A week?
Yeah, you're saying why not now?
Yeah.
There
I'm
is
all
no
right.
why I can't do it right now. Like why I
Then,
can't right now.
Well, and she has been. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's what the
no,
past.
see, he is doing what he does. Okay.
Okay.
He's caretaking your smallness. This is his hypopathology. You've been doing such good work so far. You've been taking lots of little steps and you're like pouring the gasoline on yourself and saying, I'm doing it now. And he says, but you've been doing so well. Set yourself on fire, John.
Mm.
When the setting herself on fire is committing to some window of time prior to
It's
having
trying to have the phoenix show up. She's not, for me, she's a wildfire, okay? She's not interested in doing it, 1 ounce increment until she gets up 400
I wish
pounds.
we could communicate to Cray what happened yesterday and or the day before.
No, stop it, stop it, stop it.
Because that's
Don't
in the
care about
past
the
now.
stories.
Yeah.
I find it right. Okay.
I mean, I know that, but Cray doesn't need to know that.
Set yourself on fire, John. Find the people around you. If it gets tough, if you start melting down, text me and I'll set up a call with you. I don't care. I'm more interested in the you who could be than who you are right now. I've got to duke it out with the you that's now. Fine. That's what I do.
Hmm. Yeah, why not now? What am I waiting for? I don't know what I'm waiting.
Don't ask the question. Why? Why am I being prejudiced now? Well, let's see. My daddy, when he was a kid, and his grandfather, and now you're going to tell yourself a story. You're going to do a bunch of analysis, and the moment's going to pass you by.
Okay.
If you, right now, for lack of a better thing, you're like, my head will not explode. I'm totally capable of doing this, and it's going to make me grossly uncomfortable. Gee, I wonder what the people who are going to be working with you are going to be saying. I could do this right now. It will be grossly uncomfortable, and my head won't explode. It's the same thing they're going to be telling you. Now, you can sit back and say, well, when I thought my head was going to explode, I took 6 weeks, and I chanted every morning, and I had this special sandalwood perfume, and I gazed into the sun, and eventually a burning bush. And in Hebrew, it said, go, which is really weird because I don't speak Hebrew, but I understood it because it was God,
Horrific.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were one of my clients, I would say, what do you need to do? And the first thing you're going to say is cancel a plane ticket. Or I'll say, okay, I'll wait. Go do it. And you'd be like, right now? And I say, I'll wait. I'm okay with it.
Right, I don't make
Go
decisions.
out.
I like
Old
the
you
way I
does it.
decide.
Well, guess what the racist says? Guess what the Trump says? Guess what all those people doing the things that they do to have the planet turn out the way it's turning out? Guess what they do? They wait, and they weigh decisions. And if you wait long enough, your patterns will reactivate. Right now, you're out of your patterns. You're already thinking about what the steps are that you need to do.
Yeah.
All right. Be the new you. You have an hour and 19 minutes, an hour and 39 minutes till I'm gone. I don't personally care, but why don't you make it a point? How many points do you have to make? How many things are there to do that you need to do to irrevocably, yeah, whatever that word is, set things in motion?
Hmm.
The true answer is one.
Yeah, it's the next thing.
I make the decision. Everything else is just stuff.
Yeah.
So if you want to step into the new you, go do the things. Come back in less than an hour and 9 minutes and say, okay. That's all you need to say.
Mm.
Feel what that feels like. Imagine walking up to this camera in an hour and saying, okay, I'm committed. Those are things that I can't undo.
Mm.
Look at the people on the couch behind you. Do you think they practice that a lot? Do you think the people around you practice that a lot? No. Don't lead by an example, for God's sakes. Man, let's have a meeting about it. Let's circle about it. Let's check out our feelings.
Mm.
And Jahan, you're absolutely right. If you do this, you're going to start one of those domino effects. And things are going to keep popping up in front of you that take a tremendous amount of will to do.
Yeah.
Okay?
I'd be
I
like,
understand.
yeah.
Mhm.
That feels
Dangerous.
exciting. I feel the fire inside of
Mhm.
me. And that feels good because it's been this past month I felt it. And I don't want it to die before I actually use it. I feel like now is
Gee, I wonder how you could use it in the next hour.
all right. Do you want to talk about other things while we're here right now? And then I'll go do the thing?
Alton, so that was an invitation. She just said, support me in my smallness or support me in my bigness, your
No,
choice.
I'm
Yes,
not
you
doing
did.
that. I did do
Yes,
that.
you are.
Yeah.
Go do your stuff, John. That's what you say.
Okay. I'm gonna go do my stuff. Okay.
Bye. Without the food.
Without the food?
Just kidding her. Yes, Mr. Alton.
So I'm here to be a clearing for a whole ecosystem to support people like Jahan and people like Nolan coming together. And within this home or wherever I am, continue to have all their basic other needs taken care of, and for Nolan to have a lineup of incredible facilitators like Jahan and others that are all on the same page about different modalities that we can practice together and take on in connection with them, for having like set that up. And so by positioning myself this way, I'm interested in like, what are some ways you've seen this done in the past, seeing similar setups as effectively like an agent or a broker or a person who has created this ecosystem, and what are sustainable ways that that could work?
The first thing you need to identify is what's your take? What's the coin that you're getting?
For me, it's ambiently witnessing and having my whole team up level each other, both peers that are facilitators, as well as being able to take off the top from having connected them together in an environment that they're like ideally have for a lifelong impact and connection.
Okay, so you need to be clear about whether you're just watching this stuff happen or what the coin actually looks like. You want 10% off the top. You want subscriptions. I don't know what it is, but you need to have in my world, you need to have an understanding for yourself about where this is pointed at. Just like she's going downstairs and she's trying to figure out how to deal with the things that have her end up there. All right.
Yeah.
So you're looking at creating this team and being a clearing and a facilitator and yada yada yada. But what's in it for you? And if you want to say, oh, I just get to feel good, I would push and say, what is it that you get to feel good about? You know, because there's a million different things that you could do. There's a million different people. There's a million different facilitators.
Yeah, well, the fact that I get to bring people together within a beautiful home that has been gifted to me for this time window, but to have longer term assurances by building a track record and a proof of work through sets of people like Nolan who have that.
What's the proof of work?
How much Nolan has transformed in a matter of days, sometimes weeks.
Water is hard. Water is wet. Rocks are hard. You need to have things that you can point to.
Yeah.
And say, that's because of me. Somebody started a company.
Photos of, and then the dating profile setup, and then the regular dates, and then the confidence in kissing practices and setting him up with people for that.
Yeah, whatever it is. Your proof of work needs to be tangible.
Sure.
And I hope that you'll do something as simple as, oh, look, he took it up the ass, to look, it's a $10 million company in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
You should have a range of stuff. Now, you don't want an infinite range. You want a range around things that you feel competent at.
Yeah. I feel very confident and comfortable with getting people from relatively low relationship experience to having a series of relationships that are beyond their wildest dreams. And that's seen regularly happen at Skyway. And
Make sure that you have rocks are hard, water is wet, beyond their wildest dreams. Just don't have them saying that. Make sure that hopefully you have different monocultures, and so you'll have different definitions of what beyond my wildest dreams means.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so hopefully,
score. That's like, what are some of the key performance indicators of that?
Yep.
I just
you have the lingo.
Okay.
I would also suggest that
others get to, because I want to have another home. Like, this is more out in nature, which is beautiful and it's incredible as a retreat space, but also having one more in the city that's more centrally located for another set of facilitators to also be in. And then have rotational clients as well.
Mm-hmm.
That would be my wildest dreams in this way.
Yeah.
Okay.
When people ask you, what's the proof of work, you want to be able to drown them. Now, you may need to hire somebody to put it in a format that is accessible. I don't know what it would be. But when people say proof of purchase, proof of work, you want to either take out that 6 foot, that 6-inch document and drop it on the table, or you want to start the video, or whatever it is you want to do.
Oh yeah, that's right. Thank you. Video. I've been taking a lot of great clips.
Yes.
Here's how tempted I am to show footage on my camera here. Just got out the steady cam. Gorgeous. Okay, so make a trailer. That sounds like the most important thing. Because that was my social. Did it for 10 years. All right. Well, 5 years for video, 10 years for media. Okay. Make a trailer for this.
Is there any reason that you're not a company?
Is there any reason why I'm not a company?
Yep.
As opposed to a set of independent contractors that come together to, like, set of friends that hang out and then transformation happens in my midst through a bunch of fronted or subsidized things. Like I take care of rooms or I take care of food and I take care of all the other things that infrastructure
Is there
wise.
a reason that you haven't set yourself up as a company who this is your function?
It seems like high cognitive load to verify something as a company versus like come hang out at a house and then like,
Yep.
and it
You
seems
want
like
a franchise.
like expensive, I guess, but I could turn it in. Sure. I mean, now seems more ripe than ever before, certainly. And there's a tipping point for sure that I'm hearing that may have already passed or close. The moment is now. And
So the thing is, I think that what you want that a growth place for you is to stop having it be about Alton and have it start being about the company. I think that will help you modularize better.
okay, yeah, having it less of like a personality cult or like Alton's friends or a
Yep.
house city and more of a company.
Yep.
You mentioned franchise. I think this is a good way to look at it.
Yep.
And but also I'll name that from my experience with you though, you don't like that and you have the you have dojo. Well, okay, so I'm wondering how to have dojo more as a franchise. There are attempts at like growth dojo or other things, but that were not meeting what you described as like the mark from what I recall you
Yeah.
saying.
What's really great is that they're going out and they're trying to do it and they're missing the mark. And the only way to know where the mark is to miss it.
Okay.
It's not genetic.
Okay.
And the difficulty is people don't know what they don't know, so they don't know how to ask the right questions until they make the mistakes. You know the adage about not fucking your students? It's in the Western world.
In practice in psychotherapy.
Yes, and in the Western world, and in other places, there is a cultural norm that if you're doing certain kinds of weird practices or weird paths, that's what you do. But in the Western world, you don't do that. And every single teacher thinks that they can get around it.
You're saying don't do this. You're
I'm
reinforcing.
saying don't do it, and yet everybody's going to try.
Oh, I see. You're
So,
pointing at other failure modes of how dojo has been co-opted in the past or something.
yeah, and it's until you fail at that lesson and you go, "Oh, that was so freaking stupid," you're always going to be wondering if you can run around it.
Oh, I see. Thankfully I feel not as like at effect with that particular pattern. So maybe that's my superpower in this domain.
Yeah.
Sure, for now. I mean, until like the power grows so deep it corrupts me, and then okay.
I'm looking forward to that.
I mean, it seems pretty clear. All right? I'll look forward to maybe being tempted to eat my word.
Yeah, or eat something.
Okay, thank you, Gray.
Mm.
So, I mean, that sounds pretty clear. Position it as a company. What are hallmarks of it?
Position you as a company.
But I just thought you just said to not have it be more of a company. Position me as a company. Alton as a company.
You're trying to think about this service that you're doing, and not in terms of how well Alton can do it, but how well the company can do it. You're trying to stay away from the cult of personality.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And so you want to look at what you're doing, and you're saying, okay, if I wasn't here and it was a company, there should be somebody else who could step in and do it at 90%.
Mhm.
And so I have to outline what it is that I'm doing. Because if they're not me, they have no idea.
Beautiful.
And so you can demystify it. Stop turning it into, I heard a burning bush in my dreams the other night.
Yeah, no, I have a whole workflow of how I interface with people. Of like my practice is right on the wall in the kitchen about you basically get present with someone, you infer their unexpressed intentions, and then you bracket delivery upon those things without checking in with them. That's you attune to their results and like how their nervous system clenches,
Uh,
and then those are all
I've been turned into a formula. Yay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And so it's perfect. Well, I'm saying
Good.
it's for me. It wasn't for you. I mean, I have it. Human beings are doing it constantly, and people who are very skilled at communication. Like I definitely experience you as very skilled at very many different dimensions of communication, and that's a basic compression of how human beings interact. And then you're just like present when people are gotten or seen or they feel heard, or then something shifts naturally within them, like you were saying about with Jahan. It's just
Why are you smiling? You don't look like somebody explaining math on the board. You look like somebody who's having fun, a human being who's having fun.
yeah, it's the greatest joy in my life is to outline this and to scale it and to see and empower a whole community, a whole house of friends who are also really competent at picking it up and then seeing the results of that fractally impact everyone in my life and everyone I get to have in my life.
Yeah, you better sidestep that cult of personality really hard. There
Yeah,
was
well,
no problem
that's
with
what I'm
it
trying
3
to write
years
down.
ago. Yeah.
I
Okay, what's next?
used to be around. Okay, well, the next one is like one frame. A friend is they wanted to create open source church, and it's basically demystifying all these patterns of humanity and like the physics of interaction. So I have it. There's a ton of overlap from Dojo, and I want to know how to responsibly support my friend in potentially starting their own religion. I don't know how serious they were about it, but I'm like, well, that's a very entertaining thought. How can I at least model some things? Because there are
Ask
mostly things like rituals that
ask
seem
to see ask to see the rituals.
as
So
to
just churches depend on rituals. The rituals make the church have meaning. There's a sense of belonging. There's a sense of us versus them. And so just most of the things that you're going to do, Alton, is people are going to come up to you and they're going to say, I have this really great idea, and you're going to have to give them something so they can concretize it.
Mhm. I
So
agree.
with the guy starting the church, what are the things that you need for a church? You need a Godhead. You need a relationship. You need, and there's, what are the things that you think a church is made of, you ask?
Well, that's what I'm asking you. I have it that you have a bunch of experience around those
No,
types.
ask him.
Okay.
You
Oh,
don't want
interesting.
to come
You
at
want to do like this Socratic inquiry type.
Yes. It's people who want big dreams, you want to ask using the Socratic methodology to get them to identify. It's just like John. What are the 4 things you can do in an hour that will paint you into the corner that you're here now? I didn't come up with them.
Paint you into a corner. That's really beautiful. Okay. What are the 4 things you can do in the next hour? Paint you into a corner. Man, what a brilliant frame.
So remember 9/11?
Yep.
Like, did you see the picture of the guy falling out of the
Head first.
head first? You want to get a poster of that.
Okay. Like with the
Okay?
degree of commitment of like jumping out of a burning building, or
Yes, it all burns. What's it going to take for you to jump into your future self?
what does it take to have you jump into your future self?
Knowing that total annihilation is part of the deal.
Wow, that's very impactful, and I'm getting goosebumps, and I feel touched.
Now you got to find the picture. Got to make it a certain resolution. You got to blow it up. You got to put the words on it. And don't mention my name. Oh, it's recorded. No.
Are there other similar class posters? I used to make posters that were fun for myself, that were very motivational, and for my friends to celebrate them based on personality things that they would say they were known for. So I feel really juiced or enlivened around that, and it'd be a really fun thing.
The monk setting himself on fire the first time in Vietnam.
Beautiful. That's such a. I do have these largely anchored with you, Cray, and I get that. It's dojo. It's the zeitgeist. It's okay.
I can't believe somebody of your generation is using the word. Jesus.
I was very impacted by some of the like. Anyways, we could. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's juicy. So let's see. We have guy jumping from 9/11 building. We have monk on fire. What are other potent images? People, was it where like they can't go back? What is
So wait, you want some good ones in there too. So there used to be a site where its whole thing was it would take a headshot of you as you had an orgasm.
Mhm.
So what you would want to do is you'd want to get a poster. You probably want to have 25 or 30 of those, mixed races, mixed genders, whatever you want. Has anybody ever seen you like this? Or something like that.
Wow, what an evocative set of frames. What was it, the headliner for The Monk on Fire?
What would it take?
Beautiful. Oh my God, so potent.
You want one more?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, I'm very much in the market for it. I'm wondering how to get Nolan up in here.
So there's a picture of a bunch of people at night with a lynch, somebody who's been lynched behind them, and they're all
I'm very
smiling from the
excited now,
camera.
like, yeah.
Yep. So you want to say, this is happening to you every day. Something like that. I don't like the words with the less.
You don't like the ones with words?
No, the last one, I can't. So right now, if you
But
turn
take
around and look, if you turn around, they're doing that last one.
because they're meditating?
They're doing the equivalent to hanging a nigger.
By meditating?
Yep.
So meditating is, I mean, okay, that's very spicy. You're talking about your Facebook ratings.
Oh, wait,
okay.
oh, I jerked. Never mind. Hang on. I lost my end there.
All right, that's a great salient example too. Is there, so is Tank Man relevant, or the vulture and the little girl? Are these in the same texture?
Tank Man. Oh,
Sounds
I think Tank Man's a little bit too trite these days.
okay.
So, so if you have if you have somebody who's good with images, what you want to do is you want to get Tank Man, but only have his feet and the top of his the very top of his leg showing, and have smoke coming out of the barrel of the tank.
Wow, okay, very vivid.
And the one and the one for that one is something like, it's not always how the fairy tales go, or something like that. If you're talking, I can't hear you.
I'm repeating what you said.
Oh.
Not always how the fairy tales go. I'm trying that on.
Yeah, everybody thinks that you should be able to stand in front of the tank and say stop, and the tank's going to stop, and you're going to get to go on with your life. Doesn't always work out that way. You think that you're going to try and exercise and it's going to go really, really well, and it can go really, really bad. It doesn't always turn out the way that you hoped it would. Something like that.
Powerful. Well, that's really exciting. And I'd love to create more posters when I got a bunch of frames. That's amazing. Great. All right. Wow, we're only less than an hour. Holding, uh-huh. Okay, well, I guess some interactions where I'm interested now in, well, I guess I want to take that in. That I guess I'll just trust that future me will, okay, I'll put time on
Shut
my,
up.
what I do, okay. Calendar time. Take 20 seconds here. Poster making. Oh, with housemates during house meeting. Oh my God. Okay, great. And now, I would like to have Sophia more engaged in these types of inner dialogues. And I'm noticing there's a bigger and bigger discrepancy. What my story is of like appetite for growth. And she just like wants to like take it easy, man. And I'm like, okay, what about growth? I thought growing together was a value of yours. And she understandably just moved her whole entire life. It was like first time moving out of like an area, like moved very far away.
Who are you being? Who are you being such that she's being that way? Don't make it about her, make it about you.
Great. Confronting.
However you're being right now is making it okay for her to be that way. And try to be evocative and not directive.
You said try to be evocative and not directive.
Yep. Be the thing that calls forth the desire for growth from her. Don't tell her what to do.
Yeah.
Have you taken her into the tunnels yet?
Nope, that is Monday. Oh, but she doesn't, well. Uh-huh. An interesting texture. I get to empathize with my other friends when they say things and they're like, oh, whoops.
As a networker, it's easy to get people to do things, which means that you probably suck at the long-term dances.
I don't know if I experienced that.
I imagine that there's a part
Okay,
of
right.
Sophia.
Frame is take it as if it's true. Take on the thing as if it's true. All right, so I'll sit with the frame. It's easy. Well, yeah, I definitely notice my ego definitely strongly balks at that. It's easy to get other people to do stuff. I'm like, oh, okay. There are factions of me that also agree with this. Okay, it's easy to get other people to do stuff. So long game plans suffer. Okay, that's a good point of inquiry. I noticed my flinchy justify parts.
The thing is that the things that get people to move their entire lives isn't the same thing that gets them through the day-to-day stuff.
What the things that get people through their entire lives don't get them through the day to day.
The things that get them to move their lives isn't
Oh,
the same thing that gets them through their day-to-day stuff.
that's very beautiful and empathizing for me. Okay, now I see why you said what you said more. Probably only, 5% more, but it's maybe 10% more. So it's growing. Thank you.
That's exactly what they look like in the picture.
That's exactly what they look like in the picture.
The lynching picture.
Oh. Ouch.
Satisfied with themselves. They've done something right. They've done something difficult that only they can do.
It's also the face on people who've like stepped into a totally different character suit and set them previous selves afire, and they are now a new them. Is my story? How could you tell the difference? Is good I make up that you're just consistency testing?
One, for some, it's really rare for somebody to be able to take on an entire character suit. That's usually something that you end up in a padded cell over. Two, usually people put on different parts of the suit, like their sleeves or.
You mentioned. Okay, thank you. Thanks for dimming down my hyperbolic patterning. That is okay.
If you're speaking, you're probably being hyperbolic.
Me or you generally?
You.
Okay, thank you. Okay, is there anything else you want to share about like the Sophia thing? I think that's a pretty good C generator, and who am I being such that this is the result? However, I'm being right now, making it okay for her to be that way. All right. Oh well, and no one else said wrap up so that I could have a focus on you.
You're not offering her up any carrots for being any different. It looks like.
Yeah, it does occur to me as catering, and I will sit with how that's a white hot chain that I make up that I'm not doing it. My stories on baby fooding, but that's not actually the way. All right, yes, thank you.
What do you want?
I don't know. I just came over here.
So when you hear somebody ask you a question that doesn't feel right to you, that doesn't feel normal, take it on. Not out there in the real world, not in your business, but in here. I must be wanting something.
You're just really is beautiful. You're just so it's going really well. Oh yeah, you did vacationing things. Oh man, and time with Jane. Oh, of course. Okay. I'm like, wow, you're just
Okay. Yeah, well, I kind of got what I wanted. Good advice like that. Appreciate it. You look
You're
skeptical.
being way too nice.
Oh,
You're being way too pleasant. I imagine that really good things are happening to you. That you're interrelating with people in a way that's bringing you a ton of stuff that you've never done before. And your psychopathology says that you better be nice or it's all gonna vanish in a heartbeat. And there are 3 speed bumps to get them used to the new you, but you gotta start breaking your dark shit.
okay. Yeah, I like where this is going. One of the really interesting points for me was whoa.
Go ahead,
You
step
look
off
skeptical
that high
again.
dive.
Yes. I'm finding the skepticism at this stage distracting. Yeah, I went to a party with a bunch of my old friends, and I was super confident, had a great time. And I don't feel that level of confidence here. And I'd love to like have that way of being wherever I go.
So on a physics level, these are just human beings like other human beings, okay? Theoretically, you should be self-assured wherever you go. It's just human beings. But somewhere in your psychopathology, these people are different. There's something different in the environment. it's still a house, it's still rooms, it's still people. But somehow your meaning making is that this place is different. These people are different. Consequences are different.
Yeah, that feels pretty deep. I mean, it definitely feels like
Oh.
consequence.
Yeah. And so now all you have to do is say, what does and again, you check this out with the people there, and it's like, what are the things that are going to get me in a lot of trouble? And you say, I'm trying to find out why I'm being such a wallflower here. So I want to try saying some things that my primal character says are really fucking dangerous.
Mhm.
And that you'll hate me and crucify me. Laugh at me. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I like that, though there's some difference as well. Like with these friends, there's shared interests that that make things flow really well. And so one of the things I'm thinking about here is how to connect more with shared interests with more people.
Why not develop
yeah.
new interests?
Hmm?
Why not develop new interests?
Okay, yeah, I like that.
Because if you're relying on your old shit, it's just going to be the same patterns generated.
Yeah, I like that. It's just not immediate.
Yeah. Oh, you want to be a tennis superstar the first day on the court.
I like velocity, or I like yeah. Okay, yeah. This has been good.
Make a list of the people in the house. Find out what your dark side would like to have be new territory with them, and start exploring.
Since
You know you're
what
going to get.
his dark side wants, you said?
Yeah. It's easier to start with what your dark side wants as a way of proving that you can be politically incorrect from your perspective. They cannot like it, and they're not going to kill you.
So then create a container and just start doing it until they say avocado.
Well, talk with them about it.
Yeah, we'll create a container is the talk about it.
Yeah, yeah. And don't do it, don't do it 24/7. Just say, when you're sitting down meditating, about to start a meditation with somebody, say, you know what, I've got this weird practice I'm doing where, I'm trying to be a little bit more politically incorrect for me to prove that I don't have to be a nice guy all the time. So can I say a couple things to you that to me are really politically incorrect? And they'll say yes, and you'll say them and you'll feel really relieved and they're not killing you, and you'll start a great meditation and they'll have a really shitty time of it. Because the images of what you just said to them, they can't get rid of. There you go. You get to play with your dark side. And do something about your wardrobe.
And
Wait,
that's
is
actively
that is
under-
active,
yeah.
and yeah, yeah, that is an ongoing process.
No, it should not. It should be a one-time process.
Yeah, that's true. We went in my closet yesterday, and you could have continued
Okay.
wearing that today, I guess.
Well, no, yeah, I went with Haley's clothes shopping to some thrift stores. I'd like to go with her to some more stores, but I'm also going with Sophie and Lou on
Okay.
Friday.
Yeah.
So yes, that's gonna be taken care of.
The easiest thing to do is take all of your clothes, put them all out on the grass, except for whatever you're wearing, and set them all on fire.
Okay, I mean, I like the idea of donating them a bit more, but that's probably the right.
I know, but that's not the dark side.
Mm.
You're trying to create. So think about calling the company Phoenix Incorporated.
There's okay.
So then you have all these violent images of rebirth that are acceptable.
Mhm. Incorporated. Okay. It's great.
Yeah. See what happens to all those politically correct people in the house when you're taking perfectly good clothes that could go to Afghanistan or something, and you're going to put them in a big pile in a big metal trash can. You're going to pour lighter fluid on. You're going to set them on fire. That will make us for some really interesting conversations.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some things about reputation and things that I'm like, these stories that we need to.
But
And-
you are the CEO of Phoenix Incorporated. And the motif for Phoenix is that you only arise anew if you burn yourself down,
Mhm.
which is why all the posters work.
Yeah.
If you want to be reborn over the course of 1,000 lifetimes, the Buddhist temple is down the road. If you want it to happen now, you're at Phoenix Incorporated. It's a good place to start. God, you all dress like that.
That's pretty good value prop in getting people with wardrobes set up.
Or people who don't have wardrobes evidently.
More attuned wardrobes to demonstrate who they're stepping into being, who they already are.
Yes, absolutely. If you really want a dangerous practice, take photos.
We definitely have been. That's been great.
Yeah. Go up to his room, get his wardrobe out, have him step into 4 different outfits, take pictures of them.
Yeah, that's been awesome. And all right, I think,
Yeah.
well, so all my clothes, almost all my clothes are from Asia. This happens to be from Ariat, which is not represented. Almost are always like, but
Why would you get all your clothes from Asia? Oh, that's right. You're a racist. Sorry about that.
I just don't see good looking clothes here that I can.
Oh, right. Yes.
Well, so it's literally also slim fit. The bell curve American is just overweight and obese. So
Don't shop at those stores.
I have not found. I'm open to looking. I just don't.
So if you want me to sick Caitlin on you, I'll do it.
That sounds not like what I want.
Yeah. So why don't you go and find some well-fitted Western style shirts? There are apps you can get that for 25 bucks, you can have a tailor-made shirt.
Oh yeah, I forgot about those. Okay, great, thanks. See, those are I don't really think about it for years. All right.
So if you're not getting anything or actively playing, go do something. Just don't stand there.
Okay.
Good God.
Yeah, you say that, but I feel like I have gotten some value from just standing here.
No, this is one man's opinion. It doesn't mean anything.
I'm interested in, yeah, I'm interested in how I can support Nolan when I make up that he may be entering like wallflower mode. And yes, technically he can get a lot of value from soaking it in, but there may be more to be said about him demanding or declaring what he's wanting to create in those moments. And
Help him be big.
yeah, well, I like to, or I imagine I am by like turning awareness.
Help him build a bonfire out of his clothes.
Okay, that would be definitely something that would be something. Okay.
So the thing you can do is show him how you're willing to help him burn brighter, as exquisitely painful as it is for you.
Wait, say it again. That was great.
You're going to model for him how enthusiastic you are about supporting him and him doing his Phoenix routine, even if it's exquisitely painful for you.
I see.
Gee, I'll help you as long as I feel good doing it. Wow, that's really
I do
powerful.
can correlate that to like a stronger proof of work of being loved or loving somebody is how much pain am I willing to go through to like love them.
No, that's crap. That's crap. There's no, you love somebody or you don't. There's no proof.
It's like a degree of love, I think, is
Oh,
definitely.
Jesus Christ. Fine. A degree of chemicals in your body. Yay.
Yeah.
A degree of story you're
That
telling
makes
yourself.
a lot of sense to me.
I love you, so I'm going to suffer for you. Suffering is optional.
I said the amount of pain that I'm willing to like endure or something in that direction. I didn't say
You're doing that because of what the outcome is, not because you love somebody.
Yes. Well, and the love is the medium by which I'm able to entertain that. Otherwise, I would just be a selfish clod of my own like desires.
Look at him.
Yeah.
Look at him. Imagine what it's like for him to see every piece of clothing that he has, except the ones on his body, going up in flames, while the people in that house are like, but you could have given them the Salvation Army, and him saying, it's more important that I burn it. Do you have to love him to support that? No, you don't.
Okay, interesting. I mean, I have it that if I didn't, or if I was totally apathetic, I guess that's a straw man, but
Yep.
no, I don't have to do that. Thank you.
You're the CEO of Phoenix.
Yeah,
You
allocation.
are,
Right, I get
you
it.
are, okay. You want to see Phoenix activity.
I do want to, I guess, hedge it against like the opportunity cost of time, because if I didn't have some amount of love, then it would be purely mechanical.
Oh, shut up. Shut up. If you think it helps him for you to say, I'm doing this because I love you so much, fine, go ahead. It's not necessary.
Right, there's some like trauma for you around that too. Okay, well, that makes sense.
You're trying to build an insanely sexy company. Sexy is because you're doing it because of the outcome, not because of your personal feelings.
Okay.
And you get to tell people, I weighed the cost. I read what happens to clothing, usually ends up in a landfill in South Africa, versus his freedom about setting his old life up in smoke. And I chose to go with him rather than the landfill in South Africa.
I guess that is true now that you say that. I think I loosely recall reading that it's in high school, but
No, now we have reasons that it's okay to burn clothes. Yes. Oh, hooray.
I think that it meets my okay. I'm wondering now if you have thoughts for both of us to support Jahan in stepping up into this stage for her. It doesn't occur to me that based on my several trials when you were here in the beginning of the call that I was effective at supporting her in stepping into this new stage. And I'm wondering for both of us, ways that we can conspire for Jahan's bigness.
How do you set your own, how do you do what she's doing?
How do I do what she's doing?
Yeah. How do you set your own feet? If she's doing it, she's setting a Phoenix pyre up. Her old self is going to burn. So you can go up and say, Jahan, you did it. Can you help me with this? I'm about to weasel out of this. Give her practice in supporting other people in doing it. That's the most effective way of doing it. He can go up and say, Jahan, that asshole suggested something that just makes me freaking cringe. You know? And she's going to say, is it going to make your head explode if every single piece of clothing, except the ones that you have? I tell you what, Jahan's going to say, borrow some of Alton's stuff and let's just put everything you own on that pyre. Hopefully that's what she would say. And he's going to look like that, like he's about to wolf his cookies right now. And he's going to say, it's going to help him, but it's going to help her a lot. He's going to say, could you help me do this? I'll do all the manual labor. You just get me through it. Okay. I will pour the gasoline on it. I will set it on fire. I'll have the cleansing song written. Whatever it is.
So wait, he'll do all the manual work or the work, but then what is she doing then in support?
She's just being support. It's just, this is the same relationship with you and Sophia.
So,
You're not asking for her help in anything.
uh-oh. Oh, no, I have. Okay, that's not, we for the house things, and that's been great,
For
actually.
the big things or the little things?
I think for both, for circling, she's been leading in the house, and for
That's not a Phoenix. You gotta understand that Phoenix is that guy jumping out. It's the Buddhist monk pouring gasoline on himself.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely a higher standard than helping.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's why it's called Phoenix Incorporated or Phoenix Ltd. This isn't about hitting your hand with a hammer. This is about how do you set up a burning of something that actually feels like it's killing him.
Okay, well, I have many boxes of memorabilia that I need to get rid of that are in the garage right now.
Good. What's the most effective way to get rid of it?
Oh, but you said keep some of them, but not all. Okay, well, all right.
Is it historical memorabilia?
It's both. I mean, it's all historical, I guess, because memories are all from the past, but
Is it your family? Is it family stuff?
it's both. And it's
Then you make sure that you have video of it to send to your family and come up with a good reason for doing it. Well, see, his pirate likes that. He's like, ooh, yeah. He's like, that's a good one. That's evil.
what? Okay, but yeah, there definitely seems to be a lot of value in tangible or physical items, and
Mm-hmm.
I think there's also a big cost for me cognitively.
Yep. Well,
I guess
there's no.
Definitely. If I just was like, oh yeah, I'll just set aside $100,000 and never have to worry about storage forever for the rest of my life. But I'm like, that's probably not a good use of money.
Yeah, and he could be like, these are perfectly functional clothes. If they really want to get to know the real me, they'll see past my t-shirts.
That's a great frame. I like that a lot.
It's the reason to get rid of it is because of what it's costing you, not the financial stuff.
It's definitely a cognitive sink and load.
Yep. Yeah, I imagine it's more emotional.
Okay, yeah, they're definitely a mesh, yeah. Okay, well, that's some good practice for both of us on this. And ways we can support Jahan, ways I can support Sophia.
Yeah, I feel complete. Thank you.
I feel complete. Ugh. Go burn some clothes.
I don't have them here.
You want to ask Deb?
Burn the ones you have on. Practice.
You want to ask Deb who wants to join on here? And I
Okay,
like
yeah.
what Grace said, burn the ones that you already have. So and we're frozen.
I'm not frozen.
It's so frozen. Oh, now we're back.
I'm chilly, but not frozen. What's the little yellow shield?
What's the yellow shield?
Oh, it's this information on the Zoom thing.
Oh. Oh, it says unencrypted when it's streamed. All right.
Oh no. They're going to get your credit card information.
We'll find out what we're talking like stream. So I'm a part of this Temple of the Way of Light group that does these follow-up calls. And we just had another one today. And it occurs to me that a lot of other people are also in a lot of pain. And I'm interested in like intros to this work without blowing people out, which is kind of my story from more normie background. Oh, it's still frozen again. Can you hear me?
Yep.
and I'm still interested. And
How many people do you have there?
in the house or on the calls?
If you, it, there's got to be a way to set up a classroom type thing. Like my first thought was for you to fly me out there and me do an intro weekend.
Mhm.
But I don't know if that's going to suit your
Yeah.
purposes.
They're all over the world, and it's mostly
Yeah.
you'll have some
Whoa.
connecting with Zep as well. But
You look interesting. But I imagine you know that. And what's the significance of the bandolier?
It was a gift from a friend after a Vision Quest.
That's what it is, but what's its significance?
Well, its significance to me, various people ascribe meanings to the stones and things, but like significance to me is like it's a symbol of friendship and bonding. And uh, uh,
Why do you want people to see it?
why do I want people to see it? I like the way it looks. I'm wearing it now because I was wearing it last night as part of a date night, and like I'm wanting like continuity of self. So there's some of that going on. That's why I'm wearing it now. Why do I want people to see it in general? Great question. I
Because you could wear it under the shirt.
could.
Uh-huh.
I think it does come down to like a wanting to be seen in certain ways. And I don't know what this particular thing is telling people about
Right.
other about
Can
about
I
Yeah.
can I tease you?
Sure.
Look at the way your head shows up as compared to how that shows up. Two very different things.
What do you mean by two very different things?
Your hair is wild,
Mm,
it's not coiffed. Your beard is scraggly. You look
Mhm.
like a mad scientist. This is structured. It's contained. It's
Mm.
I mean, I personally think it's gorgeous
Mhm.
because of the concentration of it.
Mhm.
And so to me, the way that you show up, you don't look terribly concentrated. But I think that's a mask.
Interesting. Oh yeah. The one of the things I enjoy about the hair is the wildness of it.
Yeah, but your hair isn't wild, it's just sloppy.
It's sloppy and wild. If it was more kempt, it'd be better. But I already have a haircut scheduled for that.
When you have a haircut, if you go to the right person, tell them that you want the haircut to complement your necklace. See what they come up with.
Interesting.
Because I think that if you showed up as that necklace, I think you would have a much different face. And yeah, because in my philosophy, what you're showing up as now, I don't know if it's a pattern, I'm assuming it's a pattern, is a mask. Because people will believe the wildness, quote unquote, rather than what's underneath it.
And there is an aspect of the wildness I actually do like.
There's bigots who like being bigots. Trump likes being a bigot. So what? Who cares? I think if this is your level of wildness, we need to send you to some schools. because that
So-
if I walk up to you, I'm not like, oh my God, he's gonna bring out the branding irons and he's gonna bring out the smoke gefilte fish and and all these wild and crazy things. When I look at when you show
No,
up,
but
I'm
that's
like,
not the kind of wild I mean, though.
yeah,
I
but what
mean-
kind of wild do you mean?
The kind of wild I mean is the primal kind of wild. The
Primal will be tattoos.
primal and like earthy, like a person of the
Would be
earth.
tattoos. That's
That's
no. So yeah, okay. Anyhow, that's just my opinion.
Hmm.
Your hair doesn't your head style doesn't say earth to me.
Hmm.
It's
what
quite the
I'm hearing-
opposite. It's
The
airy.
bigger picture that I'm hearing from you is that I could be more collected in my expression via my appearance,
Focused.
focused.
To
Yes.
make that necklace took a lot of focus.
Hmm. Hmm.
A lot of intent, a lot of conscious activity. So I'm looking at you with a trimmed like a devil, I don't know, a beard that's tight,
Mhm.
that's no nonsense,
Mhm.
and a hairstyle that says I'm dangerous, not I'm
Hmm.
earthy.
Hmm.
Because to me, the necklace also has an aura of potency
Mhm.
that your headshot doesn't.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so my personal preference is to dance with your potency rather than the other thing. Because right now I want to know what are you focused on? What are the tight channels in your being? What are the passions? I don't really care what you think about Bitcoin.
You don't really care what I think about.
Bitcoin.
Oh yeah, I don't care about that either. What are my passions at the moment? My passions at the moment are growth and freedom, becoming the kind of person that can focus my energies where I want them to be, where I want them to go.
Okay, so out of the 7 chakras, which one do you want to focus on?
I don't
Hypothetical.
let's see I don't actually know enough about the chakras to be able to use that metaphor.
What areas of growth? Okay, so let's just play a little game. In dojo, there's white belt, and white belt is made up of a continuum. On one end, there's the public face, and on one end, there's the private face.
Mhm.
Private face is the things you know about, but you don't necessarily want other people to know about. Public face is public face, and yes, they are situationally dependent. So, what's your public face want to focus on growth? What kind of growth does it want?
Got it. It wants to focus on showing more of myself, showing more of my power, showing more of my.
How does your power show up? How is it okay for your public face to have your power show up?
How is it okay to have my
Yeah,
face?
you do calculus, you're a great engineer, you can lift heavy weights. It's
Right.
okay if people know that you're powerful this way.
Okay, right. So you're asking which domains.
Mhm.
Let's see. The domains of presence, the domains of channeling energy physically, the domains of the shamanic path of using the body and interpersonal energy to move blockages, the domain of organizational fluency and emotional fluency, and there's another one that I had.
What's your dark side want?
What does my dark side want?
What's the kind of power that your dark side wants to be able to express and not either have people kill you or have them run away from you?
Oh, I mean, my dark side also wants the shamanic, sexual, that sort of thing to be able to be expressed as well.
What about this straight up human sexuality?
There's some of that, but I'm like less interested in it. There's a more and more in my life, there's been a kind of boredom with the personal clinging to things. I'm like, that's not going to go away by indulging it.
Get a haircut that matches your necklace. Let yourself be an object of caution because of how you show up in the room.
By caution, you mean people are cautious of me.
Yeah, because they look at you like something, not like something wild and crazy, like you're going to start picking your nose in public, but that you're as dangerous as that necklace. You're that controlled, you're that powerful. If they're going to dance with you, that it can be dangerous because of the power, because of the focus.
Yes, I guess this is this matches to a framing that I've been playing with. I know that dancing with me can be dangerous, and I want people who know that, who come into the connection with that awareness and say, I want to dance anyway.
Yeah, then you best change your costume.
Great, this is very helpful. Thanks, Ray.
My pleasure.
That's it for now. I'm going to at least integrate that for a moment or two.
You get one. You're dangerous, remember?
How can I support Zev with expressing his dangerousness while also being responsible for like the home or like other people's experiences within the home? Or
Help him find a dangerous costume. And then if he's going to practice being dangerous, know that unless he's actually practiced being dangerous before, especially with other people in shamanic things is a whole nother candle of wax. That's a whole separate arena that we could talk about, but I prefer not to. So how do you get him to practice being dangerous? Now, he's got his own opinions about being dangerous, and he needs to start working with other people to find out how they define it. Because he's going to be working with a whole vast array of people, and he needs to understand how to present himself in a way to different types of people, different monocultures, such that they're like, oh my God, that sounds scary and exactly what I want to be doing.
beautiful. Okay.
The first thing is clean up your costume so it matches what you feel that inside, that smile that you got going. Make sure that your externalized costume matches that as best as you can. I would always have at least one piece of finely crafted tight jewelry in the open, whether it's a bracelet, a ring, not gaudy, but something that people are going to look at and go, that took a lot of effort to make that.
Yes.
And that is tight. You want to come, because most of these people don't know tight. Okay,
Hmm.
so as the shaman, you want to say, I can carry the tightness, I can carry the focus.
Mhm.
You don't have to worry about that. I've got that bit of it. And then you start exploring what it means, what other people's darkness is about.
Exploring what other people's darkness is about.
Yeah, just go ask for some stories. See if you can do the, oh, this is the thing that you think you're afraid of. What might be the thing that you're really afraid of? And so once you get comfortable with the languaging of it, then you can start doing practices. But for most of Western culture, you have to enter in through the frontal lobes, most of them. And so until you get conversant with darknesses or things of shamanic interest, everyone think it, unless you get comfortable with the languaging of it, so you can talk to Alton and his brain doesn't explode or melt or whatever it is.
How can I
You
support him?
want,
Or, I mean, I think the
you don't,
feed generator is
no,
how we
yeah,
support each other.
he's doing just fine. When he comes and asks you about it, try to be more truthful than you usually are.
Okay. People seem to get, I make up that people get disproportionately hurt in ways that I don't feel emotionally available for supporting them when I'm super straight with people or very truthful with people. Not saying specifically
Yep.
that, it's like this is a general thing I experience in life.
You're not paying attention to your audience. You're assuming that they are you.
Yeah. Well, exactly. So,
They're asking you a question. You have your answer that makes sense in your reality, and you're looking over at them and saying, I'm going to have to translate this so it's meaningful in your reality, and you don't think I'm being some sort of curdish asshole.
right. So when I mean, I guess I'm wondering how much I edit myself for.
Almost everything.
Well, I mean, okay, how much I like meet them where they're at and like track my audience versus, okay, no, I hear I'm making a false dichotomy here.
So what it sounds like you're doing is you're trying to distinguish between the truth and the dance.
Yeah, I'm also surprised to hear you share something that seems to optimize for truth when I'm like, oh, do you want some? Well, it seems like you're optimizing for truth in that statement versus like, well, when you say truth, what do you mean by truth? Because your thing is like, there is no truth.
It's the quality of the dance. It's not the truth of the information. You think they're asking you for the truth. They're asking you for a dance.
Yeah. Well, okay. So Zeb at some point is going to ask me that type of question, and then I'll be like, oh, here's that moment where I'm like, do I be super straight in these ways? Where like someone's like, hey, here's like my little
It's
infant,
not an
and
answer.
I think your baby's ugly, and then they're like, oh,
It's a dance. When they say, what, don't you think my baby's cute? Do you think they're asking for your real opinion?
no.
Of-
But I
And
don't
what
want
the
to.
fuck?
So what do
Why? What is it going to cost you?
Wait, was it going to cost me to be straight or to?
No, to say it's a beautiful baby.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some integrity things going on in my.
Oh, but that's all crap.
I see. So my stories of integrity are crap here, given the context of
No,
meeting
your
people.
stories of integrity stem from a pathological childhood where you were passive aggressively trying to hurt people.
Passive aggressively trying to hurt people.
My truth is more important than your feelings. And if I get shunned for telling the truth, that's only because you're a piece of shit.
I mean, there's definitely some similar textures of what you're saying that resonates. I don't think that they're a piece of shit. I just like don't really want to play with people who get super hurt super easily. Not
Yes,
again.
because you get hurt super easily and you can't stand playing with yourself. Yes.
I can't stand length, you said?
You can't stand playing with yourself.
That doesn't really fit for me. How could I know if that was true? You said to just take on things as if they're true.
Yep,
How? I mean, this one's a pretty big stretch. I mean, I have
Yep.
it's pretty hilarious and great from an inside view, and I'm just like, man, I can't wait till everyone else catches up. It's generally my
So you're thinking that when people are asking you questions that they want answers. They don't want answers. They want to dance.
I'm okay. This may be a different conversation, but I'm gonna write it down anyways here. So
When somebody says, "Isn't my baby beautiful?" they're not looking for a yes or a no answer. They're looking for a dance. They're looking for a flavor. It's not about the truth.
yeah, okay. They're looking for a certain flavor. That's so beautiful. I strongly resonate with that. Man, I'm just like you're hitting these out of the park time and time again.
When Sophia is talking with you, she has a very good masculine shell. And she's going to ask you questions. And if you answer them, her masculine shell is going to go, "Oh, I asked a question and he gave me an answer, and I'm still starving to death."
E
Because the answers don't feed them, the dance feeds them.
There's some dance responses when someone asks me a direct question and they're like, "I just want an answer," and I'm like,
Well, then, if they're going to be crazy enough to do that, I suggest that you pay real careful attention because this is a really important dance.
okay. Sometimes they feel unwinnable. I'm like, I think you
They
just
are.
it occurs to me
But
you're trying to pick a fight right now, and I'm like, no matter what I do, it's just
then if you think they're trying to do that, just reach out and punch them in the nose. That's a dance. And see, Alton, there's no winning or losing a
more
dance.
seriously, like what's the I mean, I'm looking for a dance of like what like joyful playfulness through the whole
Alton.
and
Yeah, I know, but that's not always the thing that's being called for. You may want to do nothing but tango, and
yeah.
some people are going to want a jitterbug.
Uh-huh.
And you're in agreement to dance with them. You're communicating with them. You're in agreement.
Mhm.
And you can either have them leave happy and pleased and, oh sana hana hana say whatever, or you can have them leave thinking that you're a complete asshole. But I'm just telling you my truth. What's the matter with you? Why are you upset? I'm just telling you my truth.
Yep. That's I see how I do that, can do that, have historical. I'm not gonna do that anymore until
Well, highly unlikely. Yeah.
yeah.
So go back when we're done. Go back and see if you can. My conversation with Jahan. She was asking questions and asking for a dance.
Oh yeah, that's right. All right, let me get you right up here.
Usually, your psychopathology is going to be the one asking the questions.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be like the Socratic jerk guy that nobody likes when they ask me questions. I'm like, what's behind your question? Or like, what do you really
No,
want to
you don't. Stop that.
Okay.
Stop it. Just dance. Look at them. Try to see if you can taste the flavor of the dance and start dancing.
Beautiful. That's such a great frame. You got it so okay. Like,
The sun is shining. Great. That's such an amazing frame. No, the sun is shining. Oh my God. I'm like, how do you not do this? I don't know.
yeah, what's water to you is gold to me.
Yeah.
Wow, that was fast feedback loops.
Ooh.
Wow.
One, she changed her outfit. Two, she hesitated when she came up.
Okay.
'Cause I wasn't sure if you were chatting about something or not.
Jahan, what could Alton and I be chatting about that is more important than anything you have to say?
I want to say nothing.
No, don't say that. Just say the
I'm-
word.
Nothing.
Now feel that. Own that.
Mm.
Not one damn thing. And have it be, yeah, that right there. Right there. Where your eyes did that and then they did that. Yeah.
Yeah.
How does that feel? Not one damn thing, and it's completely true in you. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Half-lidded eyes too. Jesus.
I feel great.
Yeah, I imagine. So rather than being a selfish little bitch and holding it all into yourself, why don't you go spread around some of that joy and happiness, fire?
I'm gonna go do that.
All right.
Thank
I thought we were getting an update about the corner she painted
No,
herself.
I
in.
can't share all of it on live stream.
Just so you just did it.
I supported her in
No, her smallness.
triumphing and championing her
She
together.
she came in a fucking queen on fire. Or I don't know what the word is.
Mhm.
Right? But she came in her hips, powerful, owning it. She did a little like her standard, like, oh, men talking, oh. And I challenged her on that, and she rose up and claimed her space. What the fuck does that have to do with it? You look at that, feel the quality of the dance, not the bits of information. You have no idea what she did. I have no idea what she did. Given how she shows up, I'm assuming she did something. And if she wants to tell me, she'll tell me. The proof is in the dance, not in the bits of information.
Hmm.
Go away, go start some fires of your own.
Thanks.
Jesus.
Okay, so how can I know that from an inside view? Or how can I?
Every time somebody comes up, ask yourself, what's the dance? Not what's the end. You immediately go. Now, don't forget, there's two parts that you're trying to do here. You're trying to be the networker. Information is insanely valuable to the networker. And you're also trying to become a virtuoso dancer. So you got to be real clear. Is this a network situation or a dance?
Okay.
Inside the house with the people, I would bet money that 95% of it is dance. When you have events, when you're going outside to talk to people, when you're trying to build your business, then you're networking. And that's a whole nother thing. Now, there may be times where the dance is going to get you more than network, but don't worry about that for now. Be clear that you have two basic functions, dancing and networking. Don't confuse them.
Do you have a distinction between networking or being an agent? Like if I'm
Yeah, you're trying to find the connections.
LTD, then that's a different texture as an
If
agent.
if she's coming up and you're being an agent, you want to know what she did so you can find the connections. As a dancer, you're looking to see how she feels
Yeah.
and where you think she's going.
Yeah, I assert that I'm continually doing that just in the background. And I'm hearing that you want to allocate the portfolio to be more towards felt sense dance. And
I
also
want you to be able, with the people who are not actively, you're not actually mining or networking, I want you to practice dancing.
And you don't assert that you can combine these or have one be primary while the other one's still secondary.
You can, but you've got that little withered dance arm. You got that really big, strong Schwarzenegger network.
See.
Okay, let's get them to the same size before we start doing that.
Yeah, can you help me define network for you? Because I guess I don't have very like clean associations with networker. It's often like a pejorative or like not.
It's connecting the dots. You come up to Joe and you have this whole series of dots, all these different like telephone, like the old style telephone input things.
But inside view, other people call it super connecting or hyper connector in these ways, but these are distinctive just so I have more languaging around it. I guess
all you're doing is
more as like social climbery, and I'm like, I don't, that doesn't feel good. Or
no, it's not. You're not climbing. You're from over here. You're trying to make connections that are profitable.
Yes,
for them.
It's been very clear that I've done that many times on both sides, and so I'm very confident in that state. And I'm just finding that the right or resonant tag for it is helpful for me. And then so I was wondering if there's a distinction between agent and or connector and or networker for you. So
for me, are you saying that networker and agent are two different things?
Yes, for me, yes.
I don't know what the difference is. When I think of you as the networker, you're sitting there and you're trying to connect people so that they have profitable interactions.
Okay, cool. Right, and then also connector, is that a distinction there for you?
Yeah, you're not actually engaging with them as a person. You're connected. You're engaging with them as a series of potentialities.
Okay, it's helpful identity image internally. Okay, 12 minutes on here.
Okay, so when she just came up, what was your taste of her?
Emboldened.
Give me a tongue taste description.
Taste description.
Spicy, hot, cold, acidic, sweet.
There's that tongue that you have in those Japanese grills that you grill in the center of the table.
Yep.
Feels.
See if you can remember when she went downstairs. She went downstairs to do some stuff. She did some stuff, something changed, and she came up and she was different. So I'm trying to figure out a shared language that you and I can begin to meet up with about how you experience that change. Mm-hmm. And it's easier if you use somatic descriptions.
Yeah. In the beginning was more floral and light and drifty, or
keep the smile off your face.
An edible flower, but not as substantive, but it's still beautiful and decorative.
Mm-hmm. And when she came back up,
like the slice roasted meat that has way more like punch in your face with a flavor, and that's been marinated for some time, and that has a rich hot heat to it.
Okay, there's a real good reason why you turned this off when you were a little kid, because you're real clear, and I imagine that the floral people got a real good hit that you highly disapproved of that you found them wanting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that you would be this precise.
You didn't know that I would be this obscene?
This precise.
Precise.
So it's good because how do you dance with floral? How do you dance with edible flowers? How do you dance with a piece of juicy, well-marinated meat?
Hmm.
So good. You have the, so you don't even have to go to kindergarten. Probably not even grade school. You're probably in like junior high or high school.
Hmm.
And now you just have to, instead of looking for the data points, okay, to connect with the words of importance. Now you're trying to dance with the flavors of importance. And it's not about connecting; it's about dancing with.
Hmm.
You're not sending them away to anybody. It's you that they're dancing. In this moment, I don't begrudge you your years of.
In this moment, you don't regret your years?
I don't begrudge you your use of years.
Huh. I don't know what begrudge means. It's a negative thing.
Hold you in a negative space.
Hmm.
There are times when I begrudge you. You're taking years to get here.
Huh.
But right now, yeah, with that degree of nuance that you have, it's okay. If you can take years to get here and show up with that kind of nuance, it's a good deal.
Hmm. How may I receive your compliment fully based off this frame?
Why are you asking me?
I like knowing the flavor of dance that you enjoy.
That's for you to figure out. See, that's you trying to network instead of you feeling it, instead of you tasting it. That's the education part.
Mhm.
When you're networking, it's pretty damn important that they give you the relevant data.
Yeah.
The quality of the dance will depend upon mostly upon you. If you tap into something that they didn't have to tell you that's important to them, you'll get a much better quality dance.
Yeah. My inside view is that that's exactly what's been happening and working so well for me these years and how I've been able to afford this life.
I think you do it, but you do it with data points. I think you do it as a network. I think that you can be an amazingly insightful network.
Mm. Yeah, I'm still coming to terms with literally the terms you're using.
Mhm.
Thanks.
Oh my goodness. There beats a heart. Careful, careful, don't let your head explode. All my work with Jahan will be meaningless if she comes in, your head's all over the room. Slow down, Alton. Alton, slow down. Dams breaking profit nobody.
And I'm to create a company around creating phoenixes
Yep.
without dams breaking.
No, that's not true. But right now, you want to have for you want to have sluice gates. Those are the gates that they have in the dams that allow excess water out. good thing about naming it Phoenix is that is a stereotype or a whatever you call it, that's pretty well known.
Mhm.
And the phoenix arises from the ashes of the old. And so they're already, if they're coming into your company, they've already bought into the idea that something has to die and it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
And you get to sell the sexiness of your company by saying it's going to hurt a lot more than you can possibly imagine. And then you're going to show them the picture of the guy coming out of the building.
Yeah. Oh, I was imagining we'd have it like on the walls.
Yep.
Like people walk in.
Oh my God. You know how they have those inspirational full color things?
Yeah, exactly.
You can do the exact opposite, but in black and white. And be really just like punched to the gut. Yeah.
Well, that's exactly it. No, I thought that was what you were saying earlier. Okay, great.
Oh, I mean, that would be a great product. Instead of these, cooperation is the wind beneath the wings of the organization.
Wait, what's the team part? What's the Navy SEALs part? If okay.
The thing is, it's like the guy jumping out of the building. It's like, how are you going to exit your burning building? Yeah, that guy did it with panache. That guy did it with style. How are you going to meet your death? Mr. Shaman's going to show up with frizzy hair, cut-offs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm wondering what's the character archetype I need to play this really well, so I can like start any character references or movie things that I can step more into.
You have to be a character that's it's almost like you're one of those guys, the old World War II movies, like where they were all going on a suicide mission, but it was to save the free world or something. There's something about the guy who designs that, who you're actually going to be looking at people and you're going to help them die. And they're not, while they're dying, they're not going to like you.
Mhm.
And you have to be okay with that. You have to be one of these people, one of the generals, who are sending thousands of men into their horrible deaths. Because this is what you do. And you can have the biggest goddamn heart in the world. And the most compassion is like, to do this, you have to do the thing that your character says is going to kill you.
Yeah. Wow.
It's not going to, but it's going to feel like it.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's putting it mildly.
Searing.
Yeah, you can put underneath oh, what you can actually do is you can have the pictures and have rotating signs underneath them.
That's cool. Yeah. Okay.
That's like the monk is like uncomfortableness.
Great. Blaze-born beginnings. What a world. All right.
Nicely done, sir. Nicely done.
Thanks for creating us here today.
Good luck. Good luck with John. He's gonna burn down the building.
You're welcome, Matt.
Yeah, I would too.